Assalamu alaikum. You're watching PTV World and I'm Faisal Rahman. Today, this interview is going to be very interesting. The reason being is that the gentleman we are interviewing is giving this interview for the first time. And secondly, the kind of family he belongs to, we will get to know about that in a little while we start talking to him. Since this program is about 6th September and we are giving tribute to our gallant soldiers and the officers who laid down their lives during the War of 1965 and also in 1971. Interestingly, this family, the Alam family, the father was in forces, and then 9 brothers, interestingly, and all of them has served in Pakistan Army, in Pakistan Air Force, in Pakistan Navy. Brigadier Zahir Alam Khan was the eldest, served in Army. Lieutenant Colonel Feroz Alam Khan also served in Army. Squadron Leader Shoaib Alam Khan, Sitare Jurat, served in the Air Force. General Shamim Alam Khan, who retired as the Joint Chief, Sitare Jurat and Nishan Imtiaz, and also Sitare Basalat was the head of the Joint Services. And then Vice Chief Admiral Shamoon Alam Khan, again Hilal Imtiaz Military, was the Vice Chief of Navy. And then Wing Commander Aftab Alam Khan. I'll tell you a very interesting story about the gentleman also. Tagma Basalat, Flight Lieutenant Mushtaq Alam Khan, who was martyred. So was the case with Major Ijaz Alam Khan, who was also martyred in 1971 war with India. And the youngest of the family, Lieutenant General Javed Alam Khan, Hilal Imtiaz Military, and his last appointment was the Co-Commander Mangla, is with us. So thank you very much for taking out your time, sir. And especially, I know you do not appear on the TV, and this is my honor, sir, to be at your place interviewing you. And obviously, how can we forget this family, sir? I mean, their services, I think they cannot be forgotten by any means. I mean, whether you talk about Army, Air Force, or Navy, sir. So let's start off from the very beginning. So your father was in the military. And how come, sir, all of you brothers ended up being in uniform?
My father was served in the British Indian Army in the Corps of Engineers. He was actually working in Survey of India, and he was then given a commission in 1940.
Before the partition?
Well before the partition, in the beginning of the Second World War. And he was given a commission into the British Indian Army. And my brothers, as they were growing up, saw him in uniform during the Second World War. I think that has partly to do with their wanting to join
The forces?
the forces. However, I think another reason was that there were too many of us, and we could all see that it was difficult for our father to support us through university and college, given the number that we were. So I thought, and we also all wanted to be free and independent at an early age, so we joined the forces.
So that was the reason. So, sir, let's talk about your elder brother. And his name was Brigadier Zahir Alam Khan, sahab, sir. What is your age difference with him, since he was the eldest and you are the youngest?
Not much, about 22 years.
That's quite a lot, by the way. So you were who was the pampered one in the family, the youngest as always.
Well, that is what people generally assume, but when you're the youngest, then you know who has to do all the work.
Talking about the career, sir, since 5 of you were in Army, 3 were in Air Force, 1 was in Navy, and mashallah, everybody reached top 1 4-star, 2 3 stars, and then moving down. The qualities of your elder brother, sir, Brigadier Zahir Alam Khan. Let's start off from there. Let's talk about every individual in detail now.
Brigadier Zahir Alam Khan was commissioned in 13 Lancers, which is an Armored Corps regiment, a very famous Armored Corps regiment. But then he transferred to the SSG, Special Service Group. And he served in SSG for several years. During the 1965 war, luckily or unluckily for him, he happened to be in the United States of America attending a course, and by the time he got back, he opted to come back, but the time he came back, the war was over. But he later made up for it. Brigadier Zahir Alam Khan, as a Lieutenant Colonel, was commanding a commando battalion in East Pakistan, and he captured Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on the 25th of March 1971.
So he was the man who captured.
He led his troops in the capture, and they went to Dhan Mandi, where Mujibur Rahman was living, and his orders were to capture him alive, and he did that.
So was he also a prisoner of war, sir?
He was not a prisoner of war. After that, he commanded two SSG battalions because the other CO got killed, and he was mostly operating in the Chittagong Hill Tracts area. But luckily for him, he stepped on the wrong side of some senior officers, and he was sent back to Pakistan under clouds. So he came back in September 1971, and he then raised an armor regiment called 38 Cavalry, and he commanded that in the desert sector during 71. But they were equipped with obsolete tanks, which were very difficult to operate in that sector. So he did what he could.
All right. So moving on to the second brother, Lieutenant Colonel Feroz Alam Khan. Tell the viewers about him, sir.
Colonel Feroz Alam Khan, 5 of us joined the army, and 4 went to the Armored Corps, and Feroz went to the infantry. And being an Armored Corps officer, we don't really put infantry at the same level. Of course, I'm joking. But Feroz joined 4FF, and he distinguished himself in the Dir Bajaur operations in 1957. He captured the Nawab of Dir, which ended that incident. After that, during 1965, he was on a staff job in 1st Armored Division, which was fighting at Kemkaran. So he saw some action, but in rare areas in that war. During 1971, he had raised a battalion called 33FF, and he commanded that in Cham with distinction. On 3rd December, they launched an attack, and they went and captured Mandiala North on the Tavi River. Thereafter, he resigned and left the army.
Okay. And now moving on to Squad Leader Shoaib Alam Khan, Sitare Jurat, sir. Why was he awarded Sitara Jurat? What was the distinction? What exactly did he do, sir?
Squad Leader Shoaib Alam Khan was a navigator. And in 1965, he was working in the Air Secretary's branch in Air Headquarters, Peshawar. When Shoaib saw that war was coming, so he volunteered to fly. And he was on B-57s as a navigator. Shoaib Alam Khan flew the maximum number of missions on B-57s during the 1965 war. What people may be interested to know is that Shoaib Alam Khan opted to fly with a pilot called Flight Lieutenant Shams, who had a kidney problem. And the crews were short, and people were not probably they wanted to fly with other pilots. So Shoaib Alam opted to fly with him, and they flew, I think, a total of 17 bombing missions, which is the maximum number flown in that squadron. He was the navigational leader of B-57s, which meant that he led and others followed. And for that, he was awarded Sitare Jurat. After that, he was diagnosed with a heart problem, and he was grounded. And he was working in the admin branch in Air Headquarters in 1971. Again, he volunteered to fly, and although he was placed in a medical category which is not allowed to fly, he still flew again the maximum number of missions. And he particularly knocked out attack on Chor, which the Indian Army was trying to mount, and by bombing attack, they destroyed a large number of Indian weapons and equipment and the train on which they were mounted. Again, he was recommended for Sitare Jurat, but he didn't get it.
And why was that, sir?
I think in 1971,
You know, sir, sorry to cut you. It is believed that a lot of soldiers, brave soldiers, fought the 1971 war with a lot of will, sir. But unfortunately, because of the loss of the East Pakistan, they were not awarded. Is that true, sir?
I think that is true, because when you have a situation like East Pakistan in 1971, it is very difficult to justify a large number of awards.
That's correct. So moving on, sir. So General Shamim Alam Khan, the 4-star in your family.
And General Shamim Alam Khan was again commissioned in the Armored Corps in 20th Lancers, and then he also went to SSG. During 1965 war, General Shamim Alam Khan commanded an SSG company.
During 1965 war.
65 war. He commanded an SSG company which was operating in the Zafarwal sector. He led a number of raids behind enemy lines, and they mostly attacked Indian military targets on the Jammu-Kathua road. He is credited with having knocked out an Indian medium gun on that road, and also several other exploits, which caused a huge amount of confusion and paralysis on the Indian side. After the 65 war, he came back to Armored Corps, and he was selected for Staff College at Camberley, UK. And thereafter, he, through some staff jobs and so on, came the 71 war, when he was in 28 Cavalry in Sham sector. And again, he did extremely well in 28 Cavalry. After the war, he was promoted Lieutenant Colonel and went up the ladder to reach the top.
That is a 4-star.
That's the 4-star.
He was the Joint Chief.
He was Chairman Joint Chiefs. Yes.
When you talk about, sir, now since we're talking about the 4 stars, normally it is believed that the Chairman Joint Chief is technically the head of all the 3 armed forces. What sort of assignments is he supposed to conduct, sir? Primarily because Air Force has a different set of courses, and so the cases with military and navy. So does normally in USA he's the commander. Over here the things are different. What is the structure? That is
In
what I want.
Pakistan, according to the Constitution of Pakistan, the Chairman Joint Chief is supposed to command all the armed forces in case of war, but only in case of war. So, unless there is a war, the Chairman Joint Chief really does not come into a command function.
So the top level decision making lies with the Chief of Air Staff, Naval, and the Army.
With all the 3 chiefs.
Okay. So unless until there's a war, there is no major role as such. I mean, there's a staff role primarily.
No, it's a coordinating role, and that means coordination of training, coordination of acquisition of equipment, all that is coordinated, but each chief controls his own sphere.
And so General Shamim was awarded with Nishane Imtiaz and the military, as well as Sitare Jurat and also Sitare Basalat. This SJ was in 1965, sir, or 71?
It was in 1965.
Okay. And since he became the 4-star general, so that is the award, the Nishane Imtiaz military. I think that is the highest military award after Nishane Haider, sir.
Yes, but Nishane Imtiaz is not an operational award.
It's an honor.
It's a top award because the Nishan categories is the highest level of award, but it's the highest category in the Imtiaz series of awards.
Okay, okay. Now, so moving on. Uh, After General Shamim, one of your brother also became the 3-star, but in Navy, not in Army now. Let's talk about the Navy side. Vice Admiral Shamoon Alam Khan, sir, Hilal Imtiaz military. How come he opted for Navy, sir? The rest of your brothers were in forces and Air Force. Navy is something slightly different, isn't it?
I think Shamoon likes to be different, and he joined the Navy, and he was commissioned from Dartmouth in the United Kingdom, UK, and thereafter he was in the executive branch of the Navy. In 1965, he was posted on PNS Dhaka, which is a supply ship, and it was supplying the Pakistani flotilla at sea. He was a gunnery officer, and he was awarded an Imtiazi Sanad. However, I asked him, what did he do in the war? And he said, not much. After that, in 1971, he was on PNS Babar, but Babar did not see much of action again in 71. After that, he has commanded the Naval SSG.
Okay. Then he also went to SSG, sir.
Yes, he was
Most
also,
of your brothers ended up in SSG for some reason, sir. Was that too exciting, or what was the reason?
I think there's a little more excitement in SSG than other branches of service, and it also requires a certain physical toughness. So maybe that was the reason why.
Physical plus mental toughness as well, sir.
Of course.
So he became the vice chief of the Navy.
No, sorry. He did not become vice chief. He was commander Pakistan Fleet, but he was not the vice chief.
All right. Moving on, sir. Wing Commander Aftab Alam Khan, sir. Tagma Basalat and also Sitare Jurat, sir. Tell us about the reason why he was awarded Sitare Jurat, sir, and about his character traits as well.
He was awarded Tamgha Basalat and not Sitare Jurat.